really happen? Was there really such a place? The place you went to college? Was it a magic time? Did the bricks of Old Main have a special glow? Did the bell ring out with a special music? Or are these simply tricks your mind plays as you think once more of Knox? Is it simply the wistful meandering back through the shadows of the half-remembered days of your youth, and a search for old friends and old loves and old laughter? A search for forgotten triumphs and bittersweet memories? Is it all just a sentimental search for a world long gone? Or did something happen there at Knox that changed you and shaped you and grew you and challenged you? Was there more to Knox than curious old buildings, more than kindly old elms, more than cannons on the courthouse lawn? Was Galesburg anything more than just a one-horse town out there in the middle of the cornfields? Was Galesburg simply ancient brick streets and ancient houses? Was it the old Broadview Hotel, or the lonesome echo of the trains over on the Burlington? Who can say? And even if you could go back, why should you? The world has a way of moving on, and the Knox you knew just might not be the Knox the students of today know. And to be honest, isn't that what all of us wonder about? Buried deep down within all of us who went to Knox is the wistful little dream that somehow, magically, the Knox we find today would be the Knox we knew. The Knox we knew. Was there really such a place? Was it really such a magic time? Did the bricks of Old Main have a special glow? Where do you start when you start looking for the answers? Do you look to the Knox seal and the single word Veritas? What was the truth so long ago? Were we there to learn, to grow, to get ready for life? Was that it? And was Survey 101, 102 up on the second floor of Adelphi Hall one way Knox made it happen? Or did it really happen the way Knox has always said it happens, because of people, the important thing at Knox? People like the professors we knew, men and women who suddenly seemed vastly wiser than the high school teachers we had known before. Warm and wonderful teachers who somehow grew to be friends. Or did we grow and expand because of so many other things Knox offered us? Things like the choir that sounded so rich and assured. Was it working on the Knox student? Or working on the Siwasher? Was it helping edit the Gale? Was it getting elected to the Key Club? Or the Friars? Or the Ladies Mutual Improvement Society? Or was it learning to give and take and get along in the fraternities or sororities that were so important then? If all this represented the mind of Knox, then perhaps the horseplay and the laughter and the games represented the heart of Knox. Perhaps it was sunny Saturday afternoons at old Willard Field, and the screaming as Red Selman crashed through the line. Maybe it was the snake dance that tied up downtown traffic, or the sudden impulse hundreds of us had to crash the Orpheum Theater for a free movie. Maybe it was the tug-of-war at Cedar Fork, or the homecoming decorations on the fraternity houses. Or maybe it was simply the smell of burning leaves drifting across the campus, or the chili snap in the air the night we went on the hayride. Perhaps how we played said more about us than how we worked. Is Veritas to be found in the old dance programs and the music of Tiny Hill? Were we aware of our youth and our eagerness when we played our games and bet our allowances? Was there more to the old goalpost than the nickels we spent in the jukebox? More than the endless bull sessions and the pinball machines and a fake murder that set the campus on its ear? When we poked fun at campus romances in our Campus Capers film, when we made the librarian act out an impossible role, when we got the assistant to the president of the college to ham it up, when we made our favorite Saturday night saloon part of the act, weren't we really saying more about a benevolent Knox than we were saying about ourselves? Even the movies we flocked to see were of a special breed, made just for us and for the times.
Of all the gin joints in all the towns in all the world, she walks into mine. How's that you playing?
Oh, just a little something on my own.
Oh, stop it. You know what I want to hear.
No, I don't.
Played it for her, you play it for me.
Well, I don't think I can remember.
If she can stand it, I can. Play it.
Yes, Paul.
It was a foolish, let-yourself-go time of life. A time to poke at protocol. And a time for pratfalls. A time for irreverence. And then something happened that made it seem more important than ever to try to keep the laughs coming.
I remember very well that Sunday in December, about 2 or 3 o'clock that afternoon, word came over the radio that Pearl Harbor had been bombed, and all of us rushed home to keep our ears glued to the radio in order to hear the latest news. The whole campus was shocked, and all classes were dismissed the next morning while we all sat around in Seymour Hall and listened to the radio as President Roosevelt spoke to Congress and denounced the Japanese for this sneak attack and voiced his declaration of war.
When the news came that Cliff Heller had been killed on the North African beach, the war came home to Knox.
Students and faculty began to leave the campus to enlist almost immediately. Those who were in the ROTC were rushed up in order to get their training and their commissions. And within a few months, Knox had become almost entirely a women's college, until, of course, we were assigned a unit of the Air Force training program.
It was a new experience for me when during the war we had virtually no men in Knox College outside the Air Force unit. And our regular classes were made up almost entirely of women.
With the nation at war, perhaps the truth for us was that we lived each day at Knox with the knowledge that something dear and something valuable was happening to us and might never happen again.
I remember all that wonderful Knox theater gang. Dozens of them, hundreds of them, young, vital, creative, zestful,
in their lives. Some realization of what was ahead came to us when we put on Maxwell Anderson's The Eve of St. Mark with a cast of dozens and all of them playing the show like troopers.
One by one at first, then in a flood, the men left Knox. And in Italy, in Belgium, in Germany, and in the Pacific, they came face to face with a reality and a truth that marked them forever. Was there really ever a chance for Knox to return to the quiet serenity that comes from a world without war?
4, 3, 2, 1.
No, the world has changed in 20 years, and you have changed, and Knox has changed. The old Jeep is gone, but now there's the Gizmo. Cedar Street no longer runs past the Beta House. And even those kindly old elms are dying off. But Whiting Hall has new front steps and a new sprinkler system, and about time, too. Where Knox men once sweated to prepare for war is now the women's gym, and the men perspire in the new memorial gym. Doddering old Beecher Chapel is condemned and empty. The quaint, outmoded observatory you remember has given way to a fine arts building that would have made Cameron King and Harold Pike drool with desire. The library you remember is a finer library today by far. The Crown Room is a little shabbier. The new Harbor Lights is better than ever. And the old roof garden has seen its best days. Lake Story is there today as it was yesterday. And can you doubt that students still find their way to it on an autumn night? Yes, Knox has changed, as you have changed. Would you really ask Knox to go back in time to be something less when today's world demands something more? It is true that Knox helped shape you, but it is equally true that you helped shape Knox. Knox contains a little piece of all of us. But like all of us, Knox is a living thing, a growing thing. And Knox lives in today's world, just as you do. But was there a special glow, a special magic? There was indeed. And it will always be there, as long as Knox echoes with the love and the laughter of the young.